Welcome to this class. This is the beginning of a series on HTML and CSS. This is our first. This is going to be our first setup for the class. In our previous class, we talked about setting up like just a basic introduction to HTML. Now we'll be diving deeper into HTML. So HTML is an acronym for Hypertext Markup Language. It's an acronym for Hypertext Markup Language, which means a lot of programmers confuse the fact that confuses, or let me say, the interchange. They call HTML a programming language, but HTML is not a programming language. It's um, it's a markup language. It's just used to its basic implementation is actually to mark up the structure of a design before you start to work on it. So, and it's much like you being an architect. You draw a plan for a house first before you give it to the engineers to start building. So, um, that's what HTML is used for. So, in designs or like in web development, we use HTML to mark up uh, our design, like to give it a kind of layout, how you want it to be, a structure before you start to uh, design and manipulate it. So today we'll be walking through some basic tags in HTML and how to create some basic elements to start with. So HTML is made up of a structure. Now we have the head, we have the body, and we have the footer. Now it's much like we human. We have our head, we have our body, we have the footer part of us, like the leg, or let me just say the foot. So all of these things are well structured in HTML. So in most cases, the head part uh, does something that's different from the body, and the body conveys different information from the footer. Okay, so that's basically how it works. So right now I'll be giving an introduction to um, how it all functions, like how the whole thing actually works. Well. So the first thing in HTML is a declaration. Now this is doc type HTML. Now this is before HTML5. We used to write doc type and a lot of versions, put a lot of confusing stuff there. But once HTML5 comes in, you just declare your HTML by writing this doc type and HTML, and that is the only declaration you need. So to start with HTML, then this is called HTML, and now something you should understand here is this: like when you see HTML like this, most tags in HTML they have a closing tag and an opening tag. Now this is the opening tag, and the closing tag will have a forward slash before the opening tag name, like the same opening tag name. So when you have HTML, the closing tag, the corresponding closing tag is forward slash HTML. Now this is very very important. So this together as a whole is called an element. That's HTML element, and this as a single thing is the opening tag, while this is the closing tag. So inside this HTML, they now have content. Now the first part of the content we just look at now is the head, called the head. Now inside the head, it can take up a lot of attributes, but it can take up a lot of elements. But one of the vital elements we look at right now is the title. So just a title, and title is actually uh, is the name of the document, the name you want to give the document in the browser. So I can just call this intro to HTML, and I can save it by pressing Ctrl S. Now this particular file, if you want to access it with your browser, you can just come in here, go to the directory where it is saved. You know, you save it on desktop and web class, so you can just click on index. When you double click index, then you have it open in the browser, and in mine this is it. So there's nothing there. So what I just do is I just reload the page. Now you see nothing is on the page yet, but you can see that the intro to HTML is here on the tab. The tab now writes intro to HTML. Even the window also says intro to HTML. So that feature, like your ability to manipulate the title of a document or of a tab, is just as easy as writing title intro to HTML in any document. You can even try. You can even change it. You can change it intro. Let me say introducing HTML, and then you save it. Control S. Then you go back to your browser and you reload it. You see, introducing HTML. That is as easy as that. Okay, so back to um, the our text editor. So the next thing we want to do right now, it's not the next thing we want to do right now is to proceed to the body. Of course, we are still coming back to know about a lot of tags that can only be used here. Title can only be used inside the head. It cannot be used anywhere outside it. Okay, so now the next tag is going to be the body, and inside the body, this is where a lot of things happen. In the body, everything that you see on your screen happens inside the body. Now the content you see on your screen can only be visible. It is the body part that is visible to the document, that the document can see, like that your users can see. So one thing now want us to go into is trying to put up heading. Now we have heading. Heading is just uh, like writing H1 and then putting the corresponding closing tag. So I can say heading 1, that is heading 1. So if I save it and then move to my browser, and then I reload, do you see that I have heading 1 here? Now we go further to add another heading. The heading tag is from 1 to 6. So you have you can have H2, say heading 2, and you can have H3, you say heading 3. You can have H4, you say heading 4. Then you have H5, you say heading 5, and you can have H6, you say heading 6. So now let's save it so you can see the relativity between them both. You see that this is heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, heading 6. Now the higher the value of the heading here, like H6, the higher the numerical value, the lower the text, the smaller the text is. So this is H1 is bigger than H2, H2 is bigger than H3, H3 is bigger than H4, H5 is bigger than H6. So this is how we write heading in HTML5. Now the next thing we want to talk about is how do you write paragraphs, like paragraphs of text or something. So you can have it as you say P, that is just paragraph. It's as simple as that. I say my name is Steven. My name is Steven. I'm from Kogi State, Nigeria. I write codes that works. I write codes that work. So now when I save this, and then you see, and I just put up this page again. You see, my name is Steven. I'm from Kogi State, Nigeria. I write codes that work. So this is how to write a paragraph. It's as simple as that. Now you just learn how to create you just learn how to create a title, heading, and all of the heading, and then you learn how to write a paragraph. So let's make this kind of more beautiful and kind of more objective. So what I'll just do here is this. Now, in order to comment out all of this section, I'll highlight them, highlighting all of this part, and then I press Ctrl//, then it becomes a comment. So when the browser tries to read this, it's just going to ignore it. Now let's see what happens there. Now you see it's not showing anything because it's a comment. Anything that marked as a comment is not going to be visible. Okay, so now what we can go in there to do is we want to just make this something very like more beautiful, so like more useful. So we have H1 as a heading. can now say hello, hello Steven. Okay, that's H1. So I can now put it to there and say paragraph. Hello Steven, you have been awarded a sum of um, a sum of 1.5 million naira for the uh, completion of the of project KD 17. Okay, so now that is it. That is just like that. So I can now say for project KD 17. Now first off, you are advised to implement the money wisely so you can meet the deadlines with minimal spending. So now I have this minimal spending. You are advised to work as follows. You see? Now that is it. Now I can now go ahead and say H2, like the H2 um um submit your wireframe and submit your wireframe, and on the paragraph you have a wireframe that can be used to convey your approach, and a wireframe that can be used to convey your approach and innovative idea to the board, and you can have you can still have H2 also. You can still have H2 also. Now a mock-up design. So like then you have a P again, a mock-up design for the board. I'll show the color, I'll show the choice of color and the reasons behind each. Okay, so now I have these here. So let's just save this now before I start to write a longer article. So now you just come in here and you reload the page. This here. So now have a kind of structured. We have the hello, we have hello Stephen, you have been awarded some of this and that. So now this is just it. So if you're given all these things, if you want to just lay out a page, basically this is how you do them. Now the only elements we've learned so far is the headings um, and then the paragraphs. So one advantage you should look into is this. Now when you are using your headings, you want to use the bigger heading for something that is very very important, like the most important thing on the page. You want to use heading for it. Something you should notice is this: both the heading and the paragraph, they take up their own lines. You see, this is hello Stephen, and they take up this whole line, nothing stays in front of it. The same thing with paragraph. Even the submit, but the other headings too, and all of this, they take up their own line. So you want to make sure everything you do take up their own. You want to make sure that you use a heading to convey meaningful information. Like you want the user side to catch this first. And aside that, there are some other technologies that, based on the heading you use, they put in more, they put in more concentration or more emphasis on the element, like for page readers, for example. All these things are very, very crucial. So eventually, when we start to talk about accessibility, and when we start to talk about web accessibility, you understand how you go about structuring your page even before your design comes in. And in the next class, we'll be talking more about other elements. We'll be talking more about inline elements that you can use. That like this is Hello Steven. What if you want to put some other element in front of it? So we talk about element that really does that. And pending that, what I would like you to do is this. I would like you to write a news article. Now, you give it any heading of your choice. Write a news article. Maybe this can be the heading of it, like United States discovered COVID-19 vaccine, for example. Then you write up all of the articles you want to write on that. It can just be a placeholder text or anything of your choice, and you put some sub there. And I would like you to just do that, um, and send your screenshots to me. Yeah, I would like you to do that and just send your screenshots to me. So, thank you. See you in the next class.